Hello everyone, my name is Professor Ahmed Banafa and I am at the College of Engineering of San Jose State University in San Jose, California, at the heart of the Silicon Valley. My presentation is about 8 key tech trends in a post-COVID-19 world. A little bit about myself first. My main focus in the research is about IoT, Internet of Things, blockchain, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. And the things I do is I'm very active on LinkedIn, 41,000 followers, and also a media expert for San Jose State, where the school will ask me to talk to the local media and the national media in the United States about the new trending technologies, and that includes so many of the stations that you see in the screen. I have published 2 books. One of them is the Secure and Smart Internet of Things using blockchain and artificial intelligence. They're used at the universities. You see them on the screen, from Princeton to Harvard to Stanford to Berkeley, and also Yale added them lately, and the Library of the Congress also added. The book won an award, and San Jose Annual Author and Artist Award for 2019. My second book was published in August of this year, and it is about blockchain technology and application focus on that technology. What I'm going to talk about it in this presentation is 8 key tech trends in a post-COVID-19 world. One of the biggest things that we have seen because of the pandemic, because of COVID-19, is the importance of a digital readiness. And digital readiness allow people and businesses to continue with their life during pandemics. A lot of companies realize that on the hard way. If the company already have their own digital universe, no problem. But if they don't, there's a big problem for them to switch to be digital. Building the necessary infrastructure to support the digitization of their activities and stay current in the latest technology is an essential thing for the businesses now. Many companies in the United States, they closed down, filed bankruptcy because they don't have any kind of a digital plan. They couldn't survive because either the nature of their business is something that needs to have people, on their own premises, or they don't have the digital readiness here. The pandemic is the ultimate catalyst for digital transformation. What we usually finish in 5 years, we did it in 5 weeks when we have, and we still have the virus. It's actually accelerated several major trends that is already in motion. It's accelerated by the pandemic. COVID-19 will have a big impact and lasting impact, not only on the economy or on how we go about our daily life, or anything, all the things that are likely to return to the pre-pandemic norms. Working from home will be norm, less traffic, people are using technology more frequently. All of these things are going to be normal. Having a video conferencing call instead of having a phone call or a face-to-face meeting is very common. In the past, was really a second step you have to take, and not everybody excited about it. The pandemic forces many businesses to reduce and suspend some operations, staffing, and affecting their their bottom line. It also helped accelerate several emerging technologies, which is what we're going to cover today. This is especially true for innovation that reduce the human-to-human contact. A lot of the restaurant, a lot of the businesses, a lot of them, they are following the contactless protocols. And some of the things is to automate processes and increase productivity so they can have a social distancing preservance. What are those 8 key tech trends? Very quickly: artificial intelligence, cloud computing, VR and AR, 5G, VUI, voice user interface, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, and blockchain. Those are 8 key technologies that accelerated and will stay and progress and prosper in a post-COVID-19 world. For the AI, it's not a question of do we need it or not. It is really at the heart and part of the DNA of any kind of business analysis. By 2030, AI product will contribute to about $15.7 trillion in 10 years to the global economy. A number of technological innovations such as the intelligent data processing, face and speech recognition, they all became possible because of the AI. The behavior after we pass this difficult period of COVID-19, consumer behavior is going to be the same. There will be a lot of changes in the in the norms. Consumer will focus more on online, buying the product online, working remotely. All of these things will be part of the norm. We needed at least 5 years to reach this kind of understanding and belief. Took us less than 5 weeks to do it. Companies begin to navigate the possibilities after COVID-19 as the economy slowly begin to reopen. Application of AI will be extremely important to make sure that the companies and businesses adopt to the new trend. Target is looking at the stores, the famous stores here in the United States. They will add 130,000, and Amazon will hire another 100,000 employees, and most of them will be dealing with the online orders. AI will be particularly useful for those with retail and supply chain because that is the backbone of that one. Machine learning and advanced data analytic, as part of the AI, will help those companies to understand the behavior of the customers, find the purchasing pattern, develop a greater personalized experience for the customers. AI tools will do a lot of pattern recognition, making sure that they understand how they behave, predict the human behavior, or also will enable systems to continuously learn and adapt if there is some changes. All of these capabilities will be extremely valuable for the companies to survive and adapt to the next new norm. In addition to that one, we're talking about forecasting, which is a big thing used for AI. Forecasting for consumer behavior. Instead of waiting for them to make the purchase, you already know what they're gonna buy and you propose that to them. The use of chatbots will go high and higher because this is gonna give 24/7 support for the customers. Many of the companies that are using this one, so if you have some basic questions, we'll answer it. Now it's going to be the more effective questions. The second one is the cloud computing. Cloud computing is now the only thing that saved the moment for the companies. Companies like Zoom went from 26 million users to 300 million users, in 3 months. Their stock went 600%, and Microsoft, they have 775% spike in cloud services demand. All of these things are telling us that cloud computing is very important, during the time of the COVID-19 and even after that. Working from home will never be possible without cloud computing. Various cloud services vendors have actively upgraded their functions and provide resources to meet these kind of demands. And moving forward, this kind of trend will continue and get even bigger. New player to the market like Oracle is really entering the cloud computing very strongly, and there's a lot of activities about that. So cloud computing is one of the trends there. The use of the VR and AR, the virtual reality and augmented reality, it's a solution for so many of the problems we are facing because of the difficulties of being in the same place. The social distancing and teaching and learning and selling houses, selling products. If you can have everything in a virtual tour, or you can have it as an augmented reality, which that one at the top of your app, or you can see it in front of you, then it's going to be an easy thing for you. And even in dealing with the coronavirus, a lot of the scientists worldwide has turned to the VR platform for modular design to collaborate on coronavirus research and potential treatment. Now, businesses and consumers know the extent to which this technology can be used. We're likely to see more of the virtual conferences and human interactions in this, and a lot of conferences. I'm doing 3 conferences in October, and I'm doing 2 in November. Without having all these kind of capabilities, there's no way for a lot of information to be conducted. 5G network. Countries like the United States and countries in Europe, some of the European countries and Australia and South Korea, and they are really ahead when it comes to the 5G. 5G is an important pipeline that will open a lot of activities. I mean, at minimum, it is 5 times faster than the 4G. At maximum, it's going to be 100 times faster than that. And it's going to help in making sure that customers will consume more of the products. Deployment of the 5G network will emerge between 20 and 30. We're going to have a lot of deployment, making it possible zero distance connectivity between people and connected machines. The industry buzz around the 5G technology and its impact, and Apple just announced their new iPhone 12. It's built around the 5G. A lot of excitement because of this one, because a lot of people would like to have this kind of speed, and they can have multitasking. They can have on multiple screen without having a problem of the limitation they have before. But you need to have a new hardware and to deal with that. It's not widely available. We have a limitation in that one, but the promises is big. And I'm looking at the applications for medicine, for example. With the 5G, the doctor can have a real-time connection with the ambulance while they are driving the patient from the accident site to the hospital. They can have a real X-ray and operation, instructions given to the emergency, the emergency vehicle or the ambulance, so they can conduct this one before they reach the hospital. That could save lives. There's a lot of things can be done with the availability of a big bandwidth, and businesses will use this one a lot. So probably everything will turn to a wireless instead of having those Ethernet cables everywhere in the building. So we're not going to have any cables connected. Everything will be with wireless. The 5th one is talking about something I call voice user interface. The VUI is the new interface for so many of the new technologies. Now you talk to your machine, you don't touch your machine. And in average, the user touch their devices 2,600 times per day. But with the availability of the voice user interface, it's easy for you to talk to Siri, to talk to Alexa, and achieve the same thing. 80% of our communications is done using verbal communication, 80%, and 20% is done by by the touching, by the other senses, and that makes sense why we are going with the voice user interface. Even setting up the device, it will be much easier instead of having to deal with devices that does not have any screens, like the thermostats or the camera, all of those things that is not like the smartphone. We can go through the screens. You can do the same thing by voice. Internet of Things, it was a buzzword, and then it settled down as some kind of a trend. Now it's picking up, because when we're talking about IoT, we are talking about an important element when it comes to health issues. Even before the symptoms, that smart medication containers will tell the doctor when you took that medication, an IP address for every vital part of your body. The doctor can hack it and check your health. Smart forks that will tell you if the food is good for you. So many things that can be added to the Internet of Things. And Internet of Things as it's defined by four elements, which is the sensor, the network, the cloud, and the applications. All of these things will be part of the picture. In 2019, the number of the devices was 26 billion devices connected to the Internet of Things. By the end of 2020, we'll have close to 31 billion devices. And 2025, it's going to hit 75.44 billion devices. The market value is about $150 billion, and it's estimated to be 15 IoT devices for a person by 2030. So you can see that this is one of the technologies that will increase over time because you need to be connected all the time. Another thing that IoT is actually propel and fuels the edge computing. And edge computing simply is having a small data center close to the action instead of sending everything to a big data center somewhere in another state or another country. So you can process some of the actions quickly. And IoT is helping with spreading this concept, and that's going to save in bandwidth, latency, especially if you're talking about cars like Tesla, where they need the action right away. That's going to be an important thing for them. So IoT devices that make life quality better and daily life more comfortable can become quietly trendy for so many people. For example, the telemedicine and IoT devices helping monitoring people's health indicator may increase their popularity. Example of this one is the new watches of Apple, where it can measure your oxygen level. Cybersecurity is always there. There is no question about it. And a lot of the companies now will be forced to comply with regulation like the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, or the one in California, which is CCPA. So cybersecurity is here to stay. It's going to get even more complicated and more in need because most of the people are working from home. So they're exposed to the online and the risk of hackers. All of these things will have to be taken into consideration. This emerging challenge may give another incentive for implementing the practices. Criminal is actually always they're always betting on the on the fear factor of this virus to send their viruses. They have fake domains for the COVID-19. They have phishing emails promising the cure or the protection kits, or sometimes talking about the cancel events like what happened during the summer. In addition, there is an increased ransomware attacks. We hear about this one non-stop on health institution, and most of them are really looking for research that done by famous institutions so they can steal the information about the vaccine. The last one I'm going to talk about it is the blockchain technology. And blockchain technology is a whole topic by itself. And that is one of the things that you're going to see in the next slide when we talk about how the blockchain will help with the COVID-19. The blockchain technology is simply having the same copy of the information on different computers that distributed all over the world or the city or the state, and they updated this information as we add more information. It's encrypted, and if one of them is hacked, you still have copies of the others, and you cannot change all of them because there's a lot of them, and changing them is going to take a lot of power and time. So how can the blockchain help with the COVID-19? Tracking infectious disease outbreaks, donation tracking, securing medical supply, and crisis management. For tracking infectious disease, blockchain can be used for tracking public health data surveillance, particularly in infectious disease. Now, with increased blockchain transfer, it will be result in more accurate reporting, where people can have the information. If a country decided to censor, the nodes or the computers in their country, there are copies on other countries. Blockchain can help develop treatment swiftly, as they would allow for rapid processing of the data, which enable early detection of the symptoms when people report that. Will enable government agencies to keep track of the virus activities because everybody's sharing the same information. Transparency is a big thing for the donation. A lot of people donate, countries, people, organizations, so they're going to see where and how and when and who received the donation, and if the victims received the donation or somebody else received it. Crisis management can be done use something called smart contract, which is an integral part of the blockchain, and the World Health Organization is actually using the concept of smart contract. Not only can alert, but blockchain also can enable, also enable to provide the government with recommendation. The smart contract can set up certain goals. If we hit those goals, they will send alert to everybody saying, listen, there is that many cases in that city, so everybody will know about it automatically. You don't have to go through the process of reporting, because all of this one will be automated. It could offer a secure platform where all the concerned authorities, government, medical professionals, media, and health organization and others can update other about the situation. And securing the medical supply chain was a big problem for the supply. With the blockchain, we will know where the products, when and how, and receive, and nobody can change that information. So we know exactly, we can track it, we can trace it, all the medical supply chain for that part. Can be useful in reviewing records and tracking of in-demand supplies and logistics. As supply chain involve multiple parties, the entire process of the record verification will be available for everybody. Now this one is, this one is just showing you that how the blockchain is really help with this. This is the references, and this is my contact information. If you have any questions about the presentation, please feel free to email me, or you can join me on LinkedIn, or you can join me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy, to help you with that one. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy the